Hi, I'm Em. I do influencer baby name predictions and baby name consultations, and this here is where I do everything else. And today I'm just in a mood for a chat. That's why I'm on the couch today. This is a prediction Excel, but it's not longer because it's like more thorough or better researched or more likely to be accurate. This is a prediction Excel extra long only because I just feel like having a conversation about baby names rather than like an analysis as much, you know? So I just wanna like be on the couch with my friends. So this is the type of video you don't need to be watching the whole time, you know? I hope you have something else you're doing with your hands, maybe a craft project or chores around the house, dishes, laundry. Do something else while you listen. And when there's a visual that's relevant to discussion, I'll put it up on the screen, but I'll let you know. But otherwise, like, you don't really have to watch this. It's more of a dialogue. And some people like to watch these in 1.25 or maybe double speed, because I do try to go slower. Sometimes I try to talk so fast and then nothing makes sense. So I'm intentionally trying to go slower because you're my friend and I want to make sure everything I'm saying is coherent. Caitlin and Leah. This is the first time I've done a repeat prediction Excel. I did one for them last year around the same time for their son. And I got that one right, you guys. That was an exciting one because it was my first prediction Excel. And I got it right, and it was kind of surprising to me because their son's name is Oakley, and they live in England. To me, Oakley is so very much a girl's name, but I kept it on their list, even as I like whittled the list down to like only the most plausible options. I kept it because the name Oakley always fit the criteria of their clues last year. I never actually thought it would be Oakley, as far as just like what it is as a name, because to me it's a girl's name, but hey, learn something there. Now I got baby number 2, which is a girl. So first, I'm not like a super fan of Caitlin and Leah. I'm not a fan, I'm not a hater. I'm just someone who loves to observe the internet and influencers, and especially how they behave with baby names. And so because I've been watching their baby name content that they've been putting on YouTube, is suggesting that I watch more of their videos. Here's the top 2 videos that YouTube wants me to watch right now. Number 1 is Bob Ross, Towering Peaks, Season 10, Episode 1, which I might watch that actually. I realized I had never actually watched a Bob Ross painting episode all the way through ever before, and I watched one the other day. It was so soothing, and you know what I realized? It's not so much about the technique, like it is, but even more so, for his style of painting, it's about having the right tools. Because I realized that he's not like very carefully making every little stone and crevice on the mountain where the snow meets the gray. When he's doing that, he's using like a brush that's more of a knife, and he's just scraping it along the canvas, and the scraping is leaving a texture that looks like a mixture of snow on top of stone. And then the same thing with a lot of the trees and bushes. He's not meticulously making every leaf of every bush. He's using like a big ol' like fan brush that's all bristly, and he goes and it's making it look like leaves. I never realized that before, and it's very fascinating because I love to paint, I love to doodle, obviously, and I don't really think much about my tools. I'm just like, I like a paintbrush that's kind of soft and round, but not too soft or too round. But Bob Ross, it's all about the tools. Fascinating. So anyways, and then the second video that YouTube wants me to watch is Caitlin and Leah from 2 years ago. And it's titled, Let's Do It in the Middle of Nowhere. Asterisk spicy. Asterisk. It feels important to say that it's written in all capitals. So accurately to read it's to say, let's do it in the middle of nowhere. spicy. And that's a good reminder of their content before they had children is so different. If you go to their most popular videos on YouTube, they've got 1.8 million subscribers. Most popular video, again, that was my capitalization voice. I'm gonna use it again. Let's do it on the kitchen counter. Spicy. Hickey prank on my fiance. 10 types of kisses. 10 lesbian kisses. Couples night routine. This one, the thumbnail picture is them naked in a bathtub together, covered discreetly by bubbles. Loser removes a layer of clothing. So some sort of challenge that involves stripping on camera. But then when you go to their most recent content, we tested viral parenting hacks. Really different content here. And the one that is most relevant this time that people are like, baby name prediction time, is they 2 months ago did a 2-part video of we pick our favorite baby boy names and we pick we pick a name for our baby girl. So they did these like baby name challenge videos, which was fun. It was very different than their typical style of content because these baby name challenge videos are very high production. It actually makes me wonder if they hired it out, like some third-party video production was in charge of it. Because, like, it's in a studio. There's, like, ambient orange and purple lights that remind me of wedding receptions that would have been on TLC in the early 2000s. Why did they all have those? I think some people still do. You know what I'm talking about? I feel like on TLC, any wedding show, it could be the most gorgeous ceremony. It could be like a ethereal garden setup or a chapel, a cathedral, a barn, a meadow, a forest, just the beach, always the beach. Absolutely lovely. But they're there for like 15 minutes and they spend the whole rest of the night in a banquet hall with purple lights. Like the purple lights don't shine from the ceiling, they shine like on the walls. You know, like it makes do they like that it makes the whole thing look more like a club? I'm not a fan of that. If I had like a ethereal garden wedding, I don't want my reception to feel like I'm clubbing with like my grandparents there. But that's what these baby name challenge video aesthetics are. And they do these videos where they are each on one side of a curtain and they hear a name and they have to say whether they like it or they don't. And if they don't align, they pull back the curtain and try to convince the other one to like that name. So this is great intel for doing a baby name prediction to get a feel of what names they like and often like the reasons and who likes it more, who has more sway. And let me tell you something. Up until this, I had a hard time telling Caitlin and Leah apart, knowing who was who, because their channels are always Caitlin and Leah. And even their Instagram, they each, like Caitlin has one and Leah has one, but both of their profile pictures are pictures of both of them wearing white, looking off camera, and most of their posts have both of them in it. So I just had a really hard time knowing who was Caitlin and who was Leah. I finally figured it out, and this set of baby name challenge videos helped me because their names match their personality. Leah's the brunette one. Leah, as a name, you just say it Leah. Leah, Leah, Leah. It's so gentle. Like all those letters in there are very soft and smooth and, you know, like they just flow. They flow like a river. And her personality in that video felt like that, where she felt very like gentle, very go with the flow, always willing to like be like, oh no, you're right. I like that name that you like. She's very sweet and smiley, overall just gentle. And that's how the name Leah feels. And then Caitlin comes off as a bit more assertive. And the name Caitlin, there's just something with that that strong K or C in this case, Caitlin. Like when they disagreed on a baby name and they pulled that curtain back, I feel like Caitlin's eyes turned into a cat that just saw you pull out the little laser. She's like, what do you mean you don't like this name? And it's like the cat watching that laser, really wanting to get that artificial red light. Like she was, I was a little bit scared by how quickly she was so defensive over the names she loved. Assertive, bold, opinionated, and you know what? Totally makes sense, totally works that a couple would have this balance. I've got nothing against that. But Caitlin and Leah, I can tell them apart now. I've got so much baby name intel from them that it's hard to know what to start with, where to go, what to do. I think what's most significant is, okay, first here's a list of everything they've shared. They told us before Oakley was born, a list of baby names we like but won't be using. And that was boy list and girl list. Since that was only posted last year, I think a lot of their opinions would be similar, and the types of names they liked before Oakley are still relevant now. And then, like I said, we pick our favorite baby boy names, and then we pick a name for our baby girl. And then they told us that it's 4 letters long. That's great. Oh my goodness, thank you. That's a really good clue. 4 letters long. They share a name that they were going to use. That's intriguing. That really is. And that name is Adara. A-D-R-A. Wait, A-D-A-R-A. Adara. I feel like sometimes I have to say things in a British accent to get the right soundscape across, because it doesn't matter how I pronounce it. It matters how they pronounce it. Adara. They said they were really set on it. And then Caitlin came across this other baby name in an IVF group, like someone in her IVF group, maybe, I don't know, on Facebook or something, posted their baby announcement, and they used this other name. And Caitlin really liked it. She shared it. And then what's special that they shared is they told Caitlin's mom both of those names they were considering for a girl. Caitlin's mom liked the other one more, and that's the one they're going with, and that's really special because Caitlin's mom has since passed away. I think that is so heartbreaking. I can't imagine going through that. I can't imagine the timing of this stage of life they're in and losing a parent, and I think it's so special that they were able to have that experience with this baby name with her mom before she was gone, yet before baby girl was here. That's really special. I love thinking about that, even just from the point of view of, in my mind, I ask myself, I mean, I don't know anything about this mom, but I know she's an older British woman. So what name would a typical older British woman like more than Adara? That comes into mind. They also shared on TikTok cute baby names we would use if they weren't already words. Now this video is a bit more fun and silly and cheeky, as the British might say, because it's like diarrhea. You know, it's words that sound, the letters sound very beautiful, but it's actually something very yucky or silly. So I take this kind of video with a grain of salt. I think this is a really good type of content to get views. This isn't the first time I've seen people do this. This is a pretty popular question to ask. It circulates the web pretty often, like what would be a beautiful name if it wasn't already a word. I don't take this content as to heart as their other ones, but I think it is worth noting that some of the names they said that they like, but they're already words. They said diarrhea. I'm going to say these in a British accent because it's different than okay. Mascara, enema, calorie, areola, placenta, hernia. And I think we don't want to completely overlook that those are the ones they picked because they have such a similar soundscape to Adara. Okay? Keep those in mind. We can look at a summary of the names they like and kind of grasp what vibe we're most importantly looking at. How I start this is I look at what name have they already chosen. Oakley. We know from their baby name video, the 2-month ago one, we know the name they would have chosen if Oakley were a girl, and that is the name Willow. So for me, the way I look at this, because truly, Caitlin and Leah have told us so many baby names. We have this full list of names they like, names they would use, might have used, boy names, girl names, names they don't like. There's so much, and I'm just narrowing it down to the most important ones. Willow, if Oakley had been a girl. To me, that is like an alternate universe type of thing, where if Oakley had been a girl, somewhere out there, some other multiverse, there's a Willow. So in my mind, I'm creating this hypothetical family that has both Oakley and Willow. So instead of just asking myself, what names go well with Oakley as a sibling, I can then ask myself, what goes well with Oakley and Willow as a sibling? Because those are the hypothetical family. Expand that out further, add in Adara, because in another multiverse, instead of this name, they would have chose Adara. If Caitlin had just gotten on Facebook a different day or a different time, maybe she would never have seen that post. Wow, fate. So Oakley, Willow, Adara, that's the hypothetical foundation of this family. And then I ask myself, what other girl names also belong that they've mentioned? And I think the most important ones are Isla. They really liked that one. It's confusing to me because it's spelled with an A. So I say that as Ayla. They say Isla. We're just going to have to mix and match here. Luna. Luna is significant because they mentioned it as a name they like but won't be using. And it was the name of Caitlin's cat. I'm not sure like how recent in history, but I love to know the names that my clients have given their pets. Sometimes it's totally irrelevant because they've named their dog something like Snooky. But sometimes you can really sense an overlap in their baby name style and the names of their pets. And this 100% fits that. So think of it as Caitlin liked Luna as a name so much that she gave it to her cat. We got to keep that in mind. Marlowe, that was another one from their video, and I think just because it sounds so similar to Willow, but incorporates more of that soft A sound, it really works with their list. And then Nova, Aria, Indigo, and you know what? Areola. Areola, whatever it is. Undeniably, the soundscape of the vowels and the soft L and the soft R, Areola is the perfect name for them. So for me, the name vibe that is the foundation of everything is Oakley, Willow, Adara, and Isla, Luna, Marlowe, Nova, Ario, Indigo, and Areola. To summarize those names, I would say they are soft, ethereal, and feminine. The next place we need to go is the 3 pictures clue. This is kind of their thing. This is their shining moment. They did this before Oakley too, where they posted 3 pictures in a TikTok that were baby name hints. And that was very much what my prediction XL was on. Studying these pictures, getting to the root of them, and ultimately establishing TLDR, these clues are not as insightful as you might think. The picture clues before Oakley was, here, I'll put it here, a visual. You've got like a tree-lined path with mountains in the background. You have a brown heart pattern and a green bedroom scene. It was really fun getting to the root of these. I did some Google image reverse searching, lots of off the beaten paths I went. But really what it came down to is that these clues just meant nature/trees, boho, and green. The name Oakley. It really wasn't helpful. because they had already told us that they liked nature names and they liked boho names. So these clues were very redundant and intentionally given to stir the pot. And I don't mean that negatively. Like, this was great traction for them because it captured my attention. You see these clues and your mind is buzzing. I would assume that video did very well for them. You get 3 clues for a baby name. You can't help it. You want to guess. And people are going to go in and, pick these pictures apart piece by piece to try to figure it out. There's that waterfall river in the background. It looks like maybe there's a photo, like a framed poem or something behind the pillows. I went and reverse Google searched that landscape picture to figure out where it was from, like who took the photo and what country it was in. Had nothing to do with the clue. I just thought it was fun to research. So when an influencer's entire income is based on social media content creation, we have to assume they're going to do things for the sake of making the most engaging content. Because getting people to comment and view their video is directly translated into being able to afford their house and their car and their baby and their next baby. So I always take their clues and like anything with a grain of salt. And that's not specifically about Caitlin and Leah, but all influencers who make their income entirely from social media. When I see these clues for this second baby number girl, here is a picture of them. I keep in mind that maybe there's something very specific in these pictures that is the reference for the clue, or it could be so incredibly vague and intentionally misleading because the more traction and intrigue a video gets, the more money they have for Chinese takeout this month, okay? I'm going to tell you what I think about each of these pictures. Let's start with picture 1. You can see it, I'll put it really nice and big right here. Picture 1 is a dark sky over a street. Here's some of the plausible things this could mean. It could just mean nighttime. The name could have something to do with night, or sky, or dawn, or dusk, or morning, or evening, or ethereal ambiance and glow, the glowing streetlights. It could have something to do with water. We have like it looks like this is a street that it had just finished raining. So when you enter in the world of names associated with rain or water, even more broadly, oh my goodness, that's like every other name. Maybe there's a connection to the color orange or purple or blue. And the vaguest of all vague is that maybe this is just a modern name. It's just a modern, normal name. No, I shouldn't say normal, but modern. I know from watching their video that they really did not like vintage girly names. I can't remember specifically what there were, but things like Amelia, Abigail, Margaret, don't quote me on those, but things that feel old-timey, they did not ever pick. So when I look at this scene that honestly looks like it could be literally anywhere, I think it could just mean it's modern. It's a modern name, not an old-timey name. Now, I did do some Google reverse searching out of complete curiosity, and if you want to know, it is my best guess that this picture is from Russia. I'm not going to explain to you how I got there because it was so long and also so boring. But trust me, I'm nearly certain it's from Russia. Funny thing though, when you reverse search this picture is all over TikTok. All over TikTok in the same way. People posting their music. So it's like, the audio on TikTok, it's original. It's like a song that they created. And then they're just making like a slideshow of images to like overlay with their music. So many artists are just putting out their tunes with pictures of vague ambiance of city roads over and over again. There were songs in Hindu and Spanish and Russian and English. They just love this picture, and I am fascinated by that. Take that as you will. Let's move on to picture 2. This is a bag of makeup. I think they've done something very clever here to stir the pot to increase engagement, which is that there is a 4-letter name here on that white tube of makeup, which is Ilya, which, my goodness, when you look at what were the names that I said were the top vibes, we had Adara, Ayla, Isla, Arya, they're like indie, and then there's Ilya here. I feel like that was a nicely placed image choice because it's gonna get people thinking they figured it out. And the person most likely to comment on a video is the person who thinks they have found the very, 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 very clever, sneaky answer. If you think you've got it right, you're gonna tell people. So I think Ilya is the perfectly placed little trinket so people will comment. I don't actually think their video called Baby Name Hints is going to have a piece of makeup brand actually with the name of their baby. I think it will have a similar sound to that, which is like a fun little coincidence for them. They probably found this picture and were like, oh, look, that's like kind of similar. I could see that happening. What do I actually think this picture means? Feminine. I think it just means feminine. I think it literally in the most simple sense could mean it's a girl's name as opposed to another theme such as gender neutral or anything else. Feminine sounding, it's a girl's name. Maybe it's a very feminine sounding girl's name. Maybe it's a name that is very beautiful or has a meaning associated with beauty. It could be a name associated with pink or blush or rose or glow or radiance, all those things we associate with makeup, okay? And then our third clue, here it is. This is the most interesting one. I enjoy it. We've got carved jack-o'-lanterns on the table. There's a lot of beige going on, but we got nice bright pumpkins. And then in the background is a map of the United States marking all of the national parks. It says national parks right across the top. I've always wanted a poster like this, but I don't like the ones where it's like you're supposed to mark them as you go. You know those ones? I'm always uncertain because it's like scratch off or like put the sticker on when you've been to them. But I'm like, well, I've been to Yosemite, but I didn't go with my husband. So can I mark it? Can we mark the ones we've been to before we had kids? I'm not a fan of those. This just looks like a map where there's like a little pin or a little tree marking each national park of the US. What could this mean in terms of baby names? First, I think it could just mean American. And by that I mean different options. American could just vaguely mean it's a name more rooted in America. And what does that mean? Well, let me tell you the opposite. Here's an example of a name more rooted in the UK. Harry. As an American, Harry Potter, Harry Styles, Harry, former Prince of England. Harry is such a British name. And I think there are names that are more rooted in American names, whether it's because of there's like a popular figure by that name, a popular figure who has used that name. This can be a fictional person or a celebrity or something, just something iconically American has a reference to this name. Or it could just be like the baby name charts show that this is more common in America than in the UK. I find that interesting about the name Oakley, actually, because to me, Oakley is so much a girl's name. And I think the US data, Oakley is much, why assume when I can search it? So Oakley is at spot 157 for girls and at spot 394 for boys. Yeah, so in the US, Oakley is much more a girl name. So maybe the reason there's this very American clue is there's just an American sway to the name. I think this picture also just generally has cozy vibes. I don't know. That could be something. There's a fall or autumn association with these visuals. It's pumpkins. It's jack-o'-lanterns. I don't know how big of a deal Halloween is in other countries, but American Halloween feels like a thing of its own. Like even if Halloween does exist in England, I feel like American Halloween is its own beast. So let's just say autumn, Halloween, fall, and then in connection with that, my next idea is that this name clue could mean costume worthy. And let me give an example. The name Sarah means princess. And to dress up as a princess is the most quintessential Halloween costume of all time. So Sarah's this nice normal name, but there's this costume association, okay? That's a lead. More vaguely though, this clue could mean nature. Just nature. I mean, national parks, pumpkins. Maybe there's something with the color orange. Yeah, I don't know. So the thing is, let me put up on the screen all three of those with those words. The thing is, if you pick the right combination from each column, a modern name that is a girl's name that's prominent in America. That's like every name. That doesn't mean so what I'm saying is like in the same way that I don't feel like the clues for Oakley really meant anything, I like to think with a grain of salt that it's possible that these clues also don't mean anything. But they're fascinating. I love them, but I'm skeptical of them. All right, what do we do from here? Knowing that it's a 4-letter name is so wonderfully helpful and not at all. Not at all, because let me tell you what I did. I looked up 4-letter baby names. There's thousands. Then I looked up 4-letter baby names that end with A, because I think that's really likely for them based on what they like. Thousands. And then I was like, what about just 4-letter girls' names that start with A and end with A? You know, like Adara, Ayla, Arya. There were still thousands. There's so many names that start and end with A that are also 4 letters. So I decided, I did this all in advance because that would be absolutely mundane for me to share in real time. But I went through a list of 4-letter girl names with those 3 clues in mind. Because ultimately, that's what sounded fun. If I really try to go through and choose the 4-letter names that vibe with Oakley, Willow, and Adara, my list is so long that it's meaningless. And even though I'm skeptical of these picture clues, it makes it so much more fun to challenge myself to find the names that maybe weirdly, vaguely have some connection to all 3 of those clues. That sounds fun. So that's what I have done, okay? I'm going to tell you what I've come up with. Oh man, how do I want to do this? I'll go through my first batch quickly, and then I have 6 that I'm most confident in. I'm bringing my iPad up next to me, so I always have the 3 clues visually right here. And then I'll have the 3 clues up here so you can always see them as well. So first, here's the ones that are a little bit vague, and there's a stretch, but it's fun. The first is Sela, S-E-L-A. I don't know there's so many different ways to say that, you guys. How would they say it? Sela? Oh, but that sounds like they're saying sailor, because they probably say sailor. Names that end in ER are very trickster for British and Australian accents. But Sela ends with an A. Sela, it's very lovely. Like, I think it's really, really a lovely name. I think Sela really suits the soundscape of names they like. And here's some of the meanings. Sela can mean rock. Rock is nature adjacent. Sela can mean moon, which in the first picture we've got a night sky. Sela can also be associated with a Greek goddess, and that is quite the vision of femininity. So I'm going to connect that to picture 2. I like to know what the very first Google search result is because I think that's mostly to be what they saw as well. So when you just Google baby name meaning Sela, it comes up as rock, moon, and then they say the rock can range from the stony beaches to the high Rocky Mountains, giving baby Sela plenty of inspiration to feel one with the earth. So I thought that was interesting that the very first description that pops up on Google is one that mentions the Rocky Mountains, when picture 3 very clearly is of the national parks of the US, most of which are in the Rocky Mountains, one of which is specifically Rocky Mountains National Park. I'm not saying that makes it any more likely to be correct. I just love finding the connections. Now, let's move on to the second one. This is the name Arda. Baby name meaning. Arda is, it can mean scepter, which is like a staff held by a monarch or ruler. That's not really connecting well, but it can also mean bronze, which I like because bronze connects to bronzer. Bronzer is a makeup. Photo 2, bam. Arda is also the name of a forest, and photo 3 is very nature, very forest, park themed. I guess we didn't really get anything from photo 1 there. Maybe just, you know what? When in doubt, we can say, that's a modern sounding name. That's modern, all right. Modern as a street lamp. Okay, so from Arda, I jump to aura, which I wonder if they would say aura or ara. Aura. No, I think they would say aura. This is exactly perfect for our clues in many ways. Because photo 1 could be just like glow, ethereal, ambiance. Photo 2 can be glow and radiance. And photo 3 with Halloween adjacent can be spooky. And the spirituality around the idea of aura is all of those things. It's like a little bit spooky, a little bit of a vibe. Like our aura is our personal vibe. So yeah, also aura can mean a morning breeze. So next name is cozy. Cozy. You could spell it like the word, or it could be like C-O-S-I. This one, it's entirely vibes, you know? I could see it's cute. We got real cozy vibes with our third photo. You could say it's cute and girly like the second photo. Cozy in the first photo. This one is actually legitimate because when I was doing reverse Google searches, usually the keywords that are associated with this specific picture is that it's like street after rain or like evening after rain. You can tell from that puddle and the way the street is shining, it looks like it's right after rain. And that is the coziest. That is so cozy. So, name is cozy. Next is the name Fawn. Fawn. This is an example of like, it doesn't really suit their list, but it's here because it's 4 letters. It feels very feminine and nature adjacent because it's like, is it a baby deer? Fawn is a young deer in its first year. It's also a light yellowish brown color. Is anything in here a light yellowish or brown color? Light yellowish brown? Kind of the walls. That's such a stretch. So yeah, it's like sweet, delicate, feminine nature. A fawn feels very American. How does it connect with photo 1? It rhymes with dawn. Fawn rhymes with dawn. Bam. Next is the name Juno. because Juno is a name that means Queen of the Heavens. Heavens, photo 1, we have an ambient night sky. Photo 2, queen, feminine, femininity, beauty, glow, radiance, that's a queen. And also photo 3, how does this connect to American? Juno is iconically the character in the film Juno. That's like so very American. That connects so perfectly. Again, does it really feel like it fits their list? No, but it fits all the criteria, and that's what's intriguing to me. Next, real simple, the name Lane. Lane, like a road. We see a road in photo 1. Lane, you can say that's a feminine sounding name. You can say that it's American by way of Nathan and Diane. And also just road, like a road trip, American National Park, cozy vibes, autumn. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, next I have written down the name Nell or Nella, because either of those both mean bright, shining radiance. And that's kind of the reoccurring theme through photos 1 and 2. I don't know how that would be American. I don't. You know what? Straight up, I have no ideas how to make Nell or Nella. I mean, Nell feels American to me. To me, Nell reminds me of a Southern belle. It feels like someone that would live in the South. Okay, there's a movie from 1994 called Nell, and the one-sentence synopsis is, in a remote woodland cabin, a small-town doctor discovers Nell, a beautiful young hermit woman with many secrets. The reason that the movie Nell first entered my consciousness was from Parks and Rec, where Donna, as an insult, says to someone, "Are you Nell from the movie Nell?" And from there I Googled it, and Nell is someone who has not learned to speak. And we're going to connect it to Americanness through Nell, the mute forest girl of modern-day 1994 North Carolina. Now, similarly, I go from there to the name Nyla, N-I-L-A, which feels very similar to those, but the meaning is dark blue. And looking at that street picture, photo 1, that's a whole lot of dark blue. I don't have any way to connect it to the pumpkins. Not a single idea of how to connect Nyla to anything in photo 3. Photo 2, we do what we've been doing. We just say, that's a feminine sounding name, okay? Next, I have the name Roxy. Roxy Hart, easy, you know, it's very American in the sense of Chicago. Chicago is such an American icon of a place. Bada bing, bada boom. The name Roxy means dawn. So take that for photo 1. And then for photo 2, yeah, it's just a girly name. Is Roxy a makeup brand? I feel like it would be. Isn't it a clothing brand? Or it was. It feels like a girl's name that is also a brand. Next is Sage. Sage, can't get away from it. I'm sure people are predicting this right and left. This is one of the most popular prediction names to exist. Sage has a very modern feel. I think that's how it connects to photo 1. It's modern. It is a contemporary, trendy, popular name. There's an ethereal feel to it. You could say it has a feminine sound. You could say that it connects to photo 3 by way of Halloween, because sage also connects to spookiness. And nature, just nature in general, but specifically spookiness. Sage has some of that. So it connects. I cannot deny. I have to put sage on this list. And then the name Surrey, S-U-R-I, like Surrey Cruise. Now this one was good because there's certain names here where, especially when there's these little short 4-letter, 2-syllable names, where like, it can have a meaning in Latin and Hebrew and Japanese and Portuguese. Like when it's that simple of a sound in our mouth, lots of different languages will connect something to their language with it. You know what I mean? So Surrey is a name that can mean, Surrey can mean princess. Yeah, just like Sarah, but more interesting. So that's going to be my costume adjacent Halloween name. Surrey means princess. And guess what the other top word is? Surrey can mean red rose. Hello, photo 2. I literally said pink and rose, my goodness. And then if I scroll down more, it'll also tell me that Surrey can mean goddess. That's very feminine. Some other obscure random website, I don't know if we can trust it, says Surrey can also mean sun. Sun to sky to photo 1. There we go. Surrey has all those 3 great connections. Now we're going into my more confident ideas, okay? I like all of those, but here's where we're really checking the boxes in significant ways for photos 1, 2, and 3. First, this is boring, but you guys, we just need to acknowledge that it's very plausibly just Ayla or Isla, because when they put it on their list, it wasn't a baby names we love but won't be using list. They specifically titled the video, "We Pick a Name for Our Baby Girl." And that is a title I take with 6 grains of salt, because I think saying you've chosen a name for your baby would get people to watch your video. And if you get people to watch your video, you can feed your family. That being said, we can't rule out, they may have put their actual baby's name on that list. I don't think they would, but there's nothing to say otherwise. So maybe it's just Ayla or Isla. This name does work because here are some of its meanings. It can mean oak tree, which is very fun because their other child is Oakley, which also means oak tree, obviously. I think that's really special that Oakley and Isla or Ayla are very different names but have the same meaning. That's so cool. Oak tree, obviously that connects to nature really nicely. This name can also mean halo around the moon. That is the most specific baby name definition I have ever encountered. Halo around the moon. And that's beautiful. I think that really hits the spot with our words like night, sky, glow, ethereal, purple, blue, radiance, ambiance, glow. I already said that. It just hits all those spots with that feeling. So we're keeping that around. Next is the name Lila. And I feel really good about the name Lila because it's checking a lot of the boxes and it is the right level of normal and unique as Oakley. You know, at the end of the day, even if we're talking about unique ideas like Adara and Ocean and Areola, at the end of the day, they did just name their son Oakley. So I think Lila is a great pick. This name can mean night, photo 1. It can mean beauty, photo 2. It can mean purple, back to photo 1. It can mean play, like playful. I don't know what to make of that. When it comes to photo 3, I'm gonna stick with, I think perhaps this name feels more American. I'm just making that up. I think those other words are so concrete that I'm willing to feel unsure about our pumpkin picture connection. Okay, ready? We're going vague here. The name is Erie or Airy. I don't know how they would say it. Erie. We got real American vibes because that's the name of a Great Lake, which is named after the native people of that area. So we got American covered. Also, Erie sounds like the word eerie, which means spooky, and Halloween is spooky. It does have a feminine sound. Eerie, like it sounds like a nickname for Aaron. It's very sweet. And if it's the name of a lake, therefore it is water connected and very, very blue connected indeed. So yeah, that one's really out there. But like, if I'm looking at the spelling, especially of airy or eerie, it's not that different than Aria or Ayla. Now, okay, this next one, I only have 3 left. This one I feel so good about. The name is Este. That could be Este with an E, Este, or Este with an I on the end. I don't like to get nitpicky about like spellings and variations. You get the idea of what I'm talking about. Este means star. So we've got photo 1 taken care of. We got that nice night theme. Este is a makeup brand. That is by far the most literal connection we have to photo 2 of this entire list. It is a makeup brand, Estee Lauder. That makeup brand is based in the United States, New York. This is also American significant because John Legend named his first daughter Luna, which is the name of Caitlin's cat, which they like as a name but obviously won't be using. And then guess what John Legend named his other daughter? Her name is Este. Oh my goodness. So that's fantastic. This one I could actually see them liking. Like I could see them hearing this and liking it. I could see grandma liking it, Caitlin's mom, because Este or Este feels like a shortened version of the name Estelle, which is like a very classic old name from the 1930s, so that might be more nostalgic for her. And I also think if you were in a Facebook IVF group and saw a birth announcement, compared to the others I've said, you're really unlikely to be scrolling through your Facebook and see welcome baby Nell or baby Roxy or baby Erie. But to see welcome baby Este feels plausible right now because it is a little bit coming up on the trendiness, in part thanks to John Legend. Okay, next one. This one I had to put because it just had such a specific definition. This name is Jora, Jora. Jora means autumn rain. So photo 1, that cozy, just rained feeling. Photo 3, the fall pumpkin feel. There you go. That's a cozy autumn rain, and it is a girl name. And then this is our very last one. That might be my favorite as far as checking all 3 boxes. The name is Rumi, R-U-M-I, Rumi. So this name means beauty, photo 2 of the makeup, flow, like flow of water. So you got some of photo 1 in there with the water. It means the name of a blue stone. It like said it in the definition like as if I would know. What was it? Lapis lazuli. So it says this name means beauty, current or flow, and lapis lazuli. Do people just know what lapis lazuli is? I had no idea. So it's a gemstone. I wish I had just said a blue gemstone. That would have helped me. But yeah, I've never heard of lapis lazuli as a word ever before in my life. But it's a beautiful, like a blue gem with like gold sparkle in it. It's really stunning. It connects in nicely with our blue and gold detailing of photo 1. And most importantly, what's the American connection? Is this a name that was brought to the table by an American icon? Perhaps it's the name of the daughter of Beyonce? Yes, it is. This name is the name of the daughter of Beyonce. This is Beyonce's child's name. And it means beauty, flow, blue stone, and Beyonce. So that's really hitting all of the points. How wild is that? So again, I don't know if any of those are right, but I am deeply satisfied that we were able to connect them in some really obscure and sometimes really specific ways to these set of pictures. Okay? If I had to choose like which one, I feel like the one that's most plausible is Isla or Ayla. It's really boring though. Not boring because of the name, but boring because like they already said it. I think Lila is very plausible because it's so normal. And like if a grandma heard Adara and Lila, she would definitely choose Lila. Lila just makes sense. I think Este or Este is the most like up and coming on trend name that really fits their criteria. And I am just absolutely oogled by the connections of Rumi with the words and Beyonce. But I guess Lila and Este, which is interesting. Like those are my top, but then I'm like, those aren't even the ones that end in the ah sound. Which ones did? Sela, Arda, Aura. Yeah, Aura, Nella, Ayla, Jorah. Yeah, Lila. So yeah, I guess, that confirms that Lila should stay in my top picks, but, ooh, you guys, I'm excited to find out what this is. I'm very excited to see if the photo clues end up being very literal or very vague or very nonsensical. And more than anything, can we all please hope and pray that they don't go ahead and like give one more really significant clue right after I hit post on this video, because that might break me. No, I'll be excited. I'll be broken and excited. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you had a nice chat. Hope you got some stuff done. I will see you guys another time. Bye.